mean, Justin was talking a little bit, or a couple guys were talking about how maybe that locker room scene after the Utah loss was a bit of a turning point for some people. Just kind of the light went on a little bit. Could you feel that a little bit in that moment and even after?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like everybody just had to take a breath and kind of assess what just happened, and it made us look in the mirror and see like what we're doing, like how we could get better, and what we needed to do, what our next steps would like as a team. So we definitely had to, refocus and reset for sure.
What did you see change in this team after that?
I would say really just like our energy and our focus as to like things that we need to do and like how we're doing them. It's not always like you need to change what you're doing, maybe just how you're doing it. So I think that's probably the biggest thing.
You've been in high-stakes conference title games before. What have you given your teammates any advice throughout this week?
Yeah, I mean, just not to make it bigger than it is. Like, it's still football. We've been playing however many games up to this point in the season, so not to make it too big. Like, it's an important game, no doubt, but it's just the next game.
When you first faced Utah, you were just coming off of an injury. Are you looking forward to actually having two hands to tackle with?
Yeah, not because it's Utah, just because I like playing with two hands. It's just it helps me more. So definitely happy I'm not in that cast anymore.
I know Lincoln talked after the Notre Dame game that he was kind of sick of hearing about the run defense. You guys shut him down for under 100 yards. Where do you feel like that change has happened over the course of these last couple weeks to lock that down?
Oh yeah, I mean, just like I said before, just everybody doing their job and communicating and being on the same page. When we do that, we're a hard defense to go against.
When you think about the turnaround this team has had, transfers have been a big part of that. When you first came in, what was kind of the approach that you wanted to bring, and what do you feel like has allowed the team to get to this point where you're in this position?
Yeah, the biggest thing when I got here that we all talked about was creating standard and putting up on the board like what that looks like word for word, and going through it and making sure everybody understands like this is what needs to happen. Like, no matter what, this is what we abide by. And I think that set the tone for everything else that we do. And I think that is like the foundation to our success to this point.
What did you guys put on the board?
It's a whole bunch of stuff. You can read it, but winning the inner battle is the biggest thing. It's at the bottom. Kind of sums everything else up. But yeah, it's just something that we can all look to each other and hold each other to and remind each other of in moments and things like that.
Do you recall the first time that Grinch really emphasized the turnover mentality and made that a point with you guys?
Probably like the first day. Like, we talk about it every day, like all day, every day. Like, that's part of our defense. 3-and-out takeaways. So it's embedded in the language and the culture. It's something that we pride ourselves on and that we take seriously.
But aside from talking about it, how do you get good at turnovers? What do you do to practice or whatever to build that?
Yeah, you got to practice punching at the ball, stripping at the ball, just focus on the ball. Really just practice, repetition.
Getting so many early takeovers in the season, what did that do kind of mentally for you guys as you go through the year? There were games where points and yards kind of piled up, but knowing that you can kind of rely on that.
Yeah, I mean, getting takeaways, it's comforting, right? It gives you confidence as a defense when you're able to come up and make big plays like that and get the ball back to the offense. Especially for us, like you say, like 3-and-out takeaway. When you're able to come up and make a big play and make an impact like that is huge, especially in these tight games and these close games.
Do you feel like having a quarterback like Caleb in an offense where it puts so much stress on the opposing offense to maybe take risks they don't really want in? Do you feel like that helps create more turnovers for you guys?
If you look at it like that, yeah, but I don't know. I've never really looked at it like that. I'm sure you're probably right, but it's really just you step on the field, they're going to run what they're going to run, and you got to react to it. You got to defend it no matter what the cause of it is. So, yeah.
What's the key in your mind to slowing down Kincaid, especially after the way the last game went?
Everybody do their job. Last time there was people not doing their job, us not finishing. We just got to do better. We got to finish harder and do our job.
How important was it for you guys to get short yardage stops against Notre Dame, and how do you carry that over this weekend?
Oh, it's huge. Kind of part of those turnovers. It's huge to get 4th down stops, short yardage stops, and get the ball back to the offense. Like, that's the goal of the defense, is to do that every time. But yeah, it gives you a lot of momentum, a lot of confidence when you're able to do that.
What's it been like for the team to see all the attention that Caleb's getting? He's kind of gotten the national spotlight on him now.
Yeah, we're all happy and we're proud of him, man. He deserves it, but it's not really our focus as a team. We're still focused on the season and what we're doing together. but we're all excited and rooting for him, and he has our support, and he knows that, and everybody's behind him.
How have you seen him handle that intense spotlight?
Yeah, he's the same guy, so I mean, it makes it easy for us because he's not focusing on it, he's not talking about it. We're focused on winning these games, so he makes it really easy for us.
Obviously, he's made the amazing look routine at some points this season. Any play or anything that stands out to you when you look back on what he's done?
I still go back to the spring. He hit me with a no-look pass in spring practice, and I'm still kind of in shock about that. So, he's amazing. Like he's one-on-one, man. So, just what he's able to do, he keeps us alive, and he's a heartbeat of this team. So.
You were playing receiver in the.
No, I wasn't playing receiver.
Okay.
I was playing defense. And
okay, got it.
I was on a receiver, and he threw it like that, and I was like, oh man, like I thought he was gonna throw it to my guy, but he didn't. So
Got it.
it was wild.
Thanks, Shane.
Thanks, Shane.
Thank you, guys.